And there's 4 key ones we want to talk about today. The first one looks to the future a lot. So the first one you say is on your list for Beyond the Offer is career growth. What goes inside that?
Yeah, so I think it's really important when you select, a position or select a company, that you look beyond your first year or your first 2 years. Where's your long-term goals and what opportunities will, that company that you're selecting going to provide you over the course of your career journey.
So make sure that there are places to go. Make sure the ceiling isn't set too low within that. How do you suggest people ask that question? What's a good way to ask on an interview, or maybe a second interview, or on orientation? Well, I guess orientation, you really want to know that because you've already accepted the offer. But what's a good way to ask what career growth looks like at an organization?
So I'm really big on proof points. I think it's great if employers can provide you examples of individuals who have moved through the company or moved in different directions. So ask to speak with people who maybe started in one area and moved into HR or moved into a leadership role or whatever that may look like for you and what your career interests are, and find out if there is a path for you.
All I heard you say there, Kerri, was show and tell, and show beats tell, right? You can tell me all about there's career growth. Look, it's on our brochure. We wrote it down right here in print. And then I love that. A simple, hey, can you tell me a story about? That's a great example. Or would it be too much to ask to talk to that person? You mentioned that sometimes that feels like a big ask, but is it?
No, it's not a big ask. And anyone you're meeting with should be open and have their door open to have you engage with their staff and other members of the organization, because it'll help provide perspective for you.
Be honest. Does that make you look like you're asking too many questions, or does that set you apart as a great candidate who's being inquisitive type thing?
I'm really disappointed if I don't get questions. I'm disappointed if I don't go, in depth into their interests and go beyond, that 30 minutes you may have scheduled. I think for me, a lot of in that initial screen as a recruiter, they're looking for you to ask those questions. They want you to, show that you're insightful and that you're thinking ahead.
Interesting. And we've heard this ad nauseum. Make sure you have questions, right? Yeah. And a lot of times people ask the cliche ones, right? And I'm sure as a recruiter, as someone who deals with people, you've heard the cliche ones. You're looking for depth, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reality is you've gone through the program, you've secured the license. We know that you can do the work. Now, the employer that you're interviewing with, and for yourself, you should be asking, can I work with this team, and what will the culture be like, and what will my day-to-day look like? And so you can't get those answers in 30 minutes, an hour, unless you're going and asking very specific things.
And you can't get them on brochure. And some people would say, it feels like it's a good quality way to show something by asking something, right? Ask good questions. It shows that you're paying attention and sort of which directions or which things hadn't been covered. I like that from the inside of your perspective.